Hello, friends of the internet! This is Veron and welcome to my first ever YouTube video! Yay! And well, my first video would be me sharing tips and tricks about my brow routine. If you want to skip straight ahead to the demonstration, just click the time thingy here and well, let's get into it! Tip number 1, get your brows shaped. Of course, you can shave off the whole thing and just be like Jeffree Star and draw in your natural brows. But most of us are not as talented or have the time to do that. So I recommend getting your brows waxed so that you have a shape to follow when you fill in your brows. Of course, you can choose to get threaded too. To upkeep the shape, I would usually maintain the brows myself so that I can avoid spending more money at Benefit's brow house, like any stray hairs that grow above and below, I would just use a normal tweezer and tweeze off the extra growth. And if it's too long, I would just use a simple scissors to trim off the excess, just like how you would trim your hair. And lastly, if necessary, sometimes there's just weird little hairs that you can't tweeze off, so I'll just use a normal eyebrow shaver that you can buy at any beauty shop, Sasa, Watsons, whatsoever, and I'll just shave off the excess at the top. Yep. But because this is a bushy brow look, I recommend you grow out this front part here so that you can achieve that feathery bushy brow look. Yep. Tip number 2 is choosing the right type of brow product for the type of look that you're going for. So if your aim is to achieve a more natural look, I will recommend a powdery formula, such as an actual powder. Or if you're going for the Instagram look where you want your brows to kill, then I will recommend a more waxy formula. Let me show you an example. So, a fan favorite in Singapore and one product that most of my friends use is the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil. I have the same formula but in a thinner formula, the Precisely My Brow, and I do enjoy this formula. However, you need to know that this formula runs on the more waxier spectrum, and there's nothing wrong, it's perfectly fine to use this to create a natural brow look, but let me give you an example. Most of my friends use the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil and I really enjoy the formula too, but in the Precisely My Brow, the more thinner version, this brow pencil runs on the more waxier spectrum, and there's nothing wrong with that, it's perfectly fine. I like this brow pencil too, but as the name suggests, its waxier nature kinds of wax your brow hairs into place, and it makes for a very neat look. And when the aim of the game is to create a oh my god, when the aim of the game is to create a fluffier brow, well, a waxier formula kinds of defeats the purpose. And as such, for my natural brow lovers, I recommend a more powdery brow formula, such as Shumura's Hard 9 pencil or Tom Ford's eyebrow pencil. If you're going for a more luxury buy, in a sense. If you want me to, help you scout which Korean brand which is more affordable, is better for a more natural look, just let me know, then I'll get right down to it. Then of course the color matters too. Darker products produce a more intense look, whereas lighter brows create a more natural look. So, you get a point. And now for my third and probably the most important tip that I swear by when it comes to my brows, it's setting it with a brow gel after you draw in with powder or pencil or whatever you choose to use. Because just like your foundation, you need to powder it in so that the foundation stays there. And just like that, that's why sometimes when you go out, people always have like brows that's the tail is gone because you don't set it in place. You need to set your brow products in place with a brow gel so that it will stay there all day. And using a brow gel also helps with the fluffy look, as you will see later in the demonstration. So, yep. I will be using 3 different products in this demonstration. First is a liquid brow pen. You can use it to draw in realistic looking hairs in any bald spots that you may have, and for me it's the tail and the front of my brows. The product I'm using here is Japanese brand Sukyu's brow pen in brown, but I know Stila and some Korean brands have it too. The brow pen is also waterproof and smudge proof after it sets, and it makes for a good base for the later steps. Next, just use any brow pencil that you fancy to fill in your brows. Nothing groundbreaking here, but a good trick for my beginner friends would be to trace the outline of your brow, and then use short strokes to fill in the center. As we've given our brows a rough shape from the brow pen earlier, we can just fill in our brows where we need it. Use a light hand if you're not confident. Draw upwards to mimic the direction of growth of your brows to trick the inexperienced eye. Natural brows should also have a gradient, lighter at the front and darker at the tail. If yours look like a block of color, please spoolie it to blend it out. But if you think it still looks odd here, just wait for my final trick. And that is my ultimate secret weapon and also your third step. Benefits gimme brows. It's important for you to wipe off the excess product. Use an upward motion as though you're applying mascara for your lashes. This product is a colored brow gel that basically gels your brow hairs straight up to give them a fluffy look. This product also helps to further blend your brow pencil even when you think it looks like crap, haha, to make them look more au naturel. And this is me showing you the before and after. Alright, that was a hell lot of steps for just brows, but natural looks take more time, yeah? And well, that concludes my first ever YouTube video, and believe me when I say this next part made me cringe a lot during my first few takes. And that is, drumroll, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel! Yay! Comment if you're a friend from real life, and you know, if you want. No pressure at all. Alright, so till next time friends, bye bye!